Okay, so I just wanted to run through how to use this formula because I know a lot of you didn't submit the exam questions this week, and I think that you're a little bit hazy on how to use some of these formulas. So we're just going to have a quick look at this. Okay, so we're looking at arithmetic sequences. So arithmetic sequences are those sequences where the difference is constant. So for example, you could have something like 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, and so on. So the difference here between all of these is 3. Okay, so that means it's an arithmetic sequence, which means we can use this formula up here. Okay, and that is T of n is equal to A plus n minus 1 times D. And what does that formula allow us to do? Well, it allows us to find any term number in an arithmetic sequence like this one. So instead of having to count up in threes up to 100 or 200 or whatever, what you can do is you can use this formula to allow you to find any term number. So sometimes you will be given the nth term, and sometimes you'll be asked to find the nth term, or sometimes you'll be asked to show that the nth term is a particular term. Okay, so let's just go ahead and have a look at how we use this. So to use this formula, we need to know what A is. So A is the first term in any sequence. So this would be term 1, this would be term 2, term 3, term 4, and so on. So term 1 here is 4, term 2 is 7, term 3 is 10. So in this formula, A is the first term and D is the difference. So if you were asked to find the nth term of this sequence up here, what you do is you find what A is, you find what D is, and you put it into this formula here. So you find A, which is 4. D is the difference, and we're just going to put that into our formula. Okay, so let's have a look. So T of n is equal to A, which is 4, plus n minus 1 times D, and the difference here is 3. So then normally we put our 3 in front when we're multiplying, but in this formula we put the 3 at the back. So it just means you have to multiply this way. So that's going to give you T of n is equal to 4 plus 3n minus 3. And then what you do is you group up your like terms. So here is your 4 and your minus 3. So that's going to give you on the next line T of n is equal to 3n minus 3 plus 4 is going to give you plus 1. Okay, so this is the nth term, or the rule for finding any term. So now if you were asked to find the 30th term, T of 30, what you do is you put in 30 where you have n. So that will give you 3 times 30 plus 1. So that means that you get 91. So that means the 30th term, if you were to keep counting up until you got to, for 30 more terms, you'd eventually get to 91. Okay, so let's have a little look. There's a few questions up here. I'm going to move them down here and have a look at doing a few more examples of how we work with this formula. So I think before you get into exam questions, it's a good idea to have a good practice of some of these. So let's take question 6. Find T of n of the arithmetic sequence 12, 15, 18. Hence write down the value of T10 and T40, or the 40th term and the 10th term. So we're going to write down our formula. T n is equal to A plus n minus 1 times D. And here we need to find A, which is the first term, so it's 12. And we need to find D, which is the difference. And I can see that the difference there is 3. So I go ahead and put these into my formula. So I say 12 plus n minus 1 times 3, because my A is 12 and my D is 3. So this is going to give me 12 plus, multiplying this way, 3n minus 3. So I'm just going to group my like terms. So 3n and 12 minus 3 is going to give me plus 9. Okay, and then in the question it says, hence, oops, too far there. Sorry now. Then the question says, hence find T10 and T40. So T10 is going to be equal to where I have n, I put in 10. So it's 3 times 10 plus 9. So that's 39. And T40, which is going to be 3 times 40 plus 9. So that's going to give me, sorry, that should be 40. 120, 129. Okay, so look, it's a really good idea just to have a practice on using some of these questions. You can try these ones here and 7, or you can go to your own book and have a practice at using the formula. You really need to be familiar with using this formula before you can do some of these exam questions. So hopefully that's helpful, guys.